that I am announcing today my candidature for the presidency of Kenya Football Federation. Tulijaribu, tumejifunza. Raundi hii tumejipanga. Raundi hii tuko tayari. Raundi hii niko uwanjani, na raundi hii liwe liwalo tunaingia.
Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena petit no inaweza but big ndio napenda sehemu. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena petit no inaweza but big ndio napenda sehemu. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena petit no inaweza but big ndio napenda sehemu. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena petit no inaweza but big ndio napenda sehemu. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena petit no inaweza but big ndio napenda sehemu. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena petit no inaweza but big ndio napenda sehemu. Goda tena strictly makwela no other gender. Goda tena petit no inaweza but big ndio napenda selector. Nini zona cheza umeshindwa na mboka wewe sema teke Alexa.
Nairobi oye! Football stakeholders, mambo! Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Asanteni sana. Ketini. Thank you very much. Muko imara. Ladies and gentlemen, nitajaribu niweke fupi as possible, but I want to take this opportunity first niwashukuru nyote for making the time to be here today. And I will take a few minutes to just go through a few things so that I can allow you to go about your business na tuanze kazi. Ladies and gentlemen, I have invited you here today to share my vision for Kenyan football. Most of you in this room and thousands watching this event from across the country would remember how far back I started the journey to develop and grow our football 20 years ago. I started a grassroots football tournament that later transitioned into a 3-tier league with approximately 100 football clubs participating every season. The Super 8 League, managed by Extreme Sports Limited, provided a platform for thousands of footballers to showcase their talent, earn a living, and pursue their passion in an environment cultured in integrity, transparency, and accountability. Many players found their way to the Kenya Premier League, to the National Super League, and to some destinations beyond our borders. Some of those players include Victor Wanyama, McDonald Mariga, Innocent Moteso, who is here with us today, Jerry Santos, just to mention a few. We may not have enough time to enumerate the impact extreme sports has had in our country. But the audience in this room would be the best testament to our track record and success stories. I therefore want to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has walked with us this journey. For all those people who've spoken today, I want to say thank you to Hassan Omar, to Matach Honorable, to Ambani. All of you have been part of this journey one way or another. and I cannot say enough to thank you. The people seated up at the balcony, most of you are my personal friends, and you have been with me over this journey in the last 20 years. Words cannot express my gratitude, even when nobody believed that we could pull off Super 8 over that period of time. Majority of you who are here stood with me, and we are here today. Unfortunately, holistically speaking, the story is different for Kenyan football. In just a few years, the quality of play, quality of coaching, the quality of refereeing, the quality of personnel within the football ecosystem in general have deteriorated exponentially to unacceptable levels. The lack of talent development programs, lack of business-oriented strategies, managerial ineptitude, non-compliance with the law, and lack of transparency and accountability has taken Kenyan football to the doldrums. It is unacceptable. Our access to young and hungry talent, rudely and arrogantly interrupted, has hampered Kenya's football socio-economic benefits over the last 10 years. Bad governance, corruption, especially intimidation and impunity, have become, unfortunately, the norm in our football administration. Today, I am here to tell you that we can take our football to greater heights. We can transform our football into a viable and sustainable social economic pillar of our country. In order to achieve this, we must bravely address the ills that have bedeviled our beloved sport. Ni wakati tupambane na hizi shida zote and offer ourselves as solution providers. Ladies and gentlemen, football stakeholders, it is in this regard that I am announcing today my candidature for the presidency of Kenya Football Federation. In 2011 tulijaribu, tumejifunza, raundi hii tumejipanga, raundi hii tuko tayari, raundi hii niko uwanjani, na raundi hii liwe liwalo tunaingia. I am asking all Kenyans who share my belief to journey together onto the futuristic discourse of commercialization of Kenyan football. In the coming weeks, I will take my message to the delegates of Kenyan football. I will talk about the importance of having quality leadership, integrity, transparency, and accountability in the administration of the sport. I will present my plan to reform and catapult Kenyan football into a thriving commercial and economic entity. It is with this foundation that we begin the campaign of hope and courage and turn our collective dreams into reality. Kenyan football, an untapped industry, has the potential of generating billions of shillings towards the GDP of Kenya. Hence, my proposal based on these three pillars. Number one, how do we address the past? Number two, how shall we deal with the challenges of the present? And number three, how shall we plan for the future? On the past, one cannot successfully build a football industry without the involvement of individuals who have built the game as players. If you do not know where you are coming from, you will not know your destination. For a long time, former footballers, both male and female, who have brought glory to this country, have faced exclusion from the football ecosystem. The only time they are inculcated into the agenda of Kenyan football is during the time of elections and provision of coaching courses, albeit selectively. They rarely get involved in managerial or administrative sections of the game, despite having requisite skills. Former footballers require capacity building on other skills apart from coaching. These include, but not limited to, sports marketing, graphic design, video editing, content creation, copywriting, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and even sports journalism. The issue of alienation of former footballers through divide and rule tactics will end under my administration. We must ensure that the footballers and former footballers who have brought pride and recognition to this country to be inducted into Kenya's Football Hall of Fame. We will also set up a national football museum to display Kenya's football memorabilia, rich history and culture. In consultation with relevant authorities and institutions, my administration will spearhead a retirement scheme with adequate health cover for former footballers. My message, I can see most of you are here today, and I thank you for your presence. To former footballers and administrators, like my friend GMT Otieno, Peter Dao, Josephat Murila, Mike Okoth Origi, George Sunguti, Bobby Ogola, Mickey Weche, Dennis Oliech, Jamal Mohammed, Florence Dua, just to mention but a few, Nedi Atieno, I assure you, we will work together. My administration will embrace you. We shall engage in ideological challenges for the exchanges for the betterment of Kenyan football. That is about the past. When we come to the present day, we have a lot of challenges. The first one you've talked about, infrastructure. Excellence and success in the local football arena depends heavily on sports infrastructure. The quality of local football facilities is terribly saddening. Despite having been touted as the most popular game in Kenya, our infrastructure is lagging behind those of our neighbors like Tanzania, Uganda, Ethiopia, Rwanda, and also continentally against Senegal, Cameroon, South Africa, and countries like Egypt and Morocco. In order to realize the full potential of the business of football, there must be a deliberate plan to build sustainable infrastructure that can enable the commercialization of the sport and subsequently our performance on the international stage. This explains why countries with lesser economic prowess than Kenya compete and prosper internationally at competitions such as CHAN, AFCON, and the FIFA World Cup. My administration will embark on infrastructural development strategy, and this drive will start at the grassroots. It is in this light that I propose that we have at least 2 or 3 eco-friendly 5,000 and 10,000 seater stadiums in each county to start with. And I am very aware that we as the football fraternity cannot achieve these targets on our own. And as my brother Hassan, the Secretary General of UDA and IALA MP said, we need collaboration with the right partners, and government is a key stakeholder in this sector, who we shall be dependent on for this particular initiative. My administration will negotiate with the national and county governments for dedicated land banks to set up reserves for the sports infrastructure. I shall lobby to ensure that funds for sports infrastructure is ring-fenced at source. Private sector and football clubs should also have access to affordable capital meant for development of football facilities and academies. For the Kenyan Premier League, the National Super League and Women National Leagues, we will engage county governments on a private-public partnership model to upgrade at least 10 pitches across the country in 8 regions. We will upgrade 2 standard pitches in Coast Region, 1 in Nyanza, 1 in Western, 1 in Upper Rift, 1 in Lower Rift, 1 in Eastern, and 2 in Northeastern. The development of sports infrastructure will increase participation of fans on match days, and the attendance will also ensure ticket revenues, which are heavily correlated with safe and accessible facilities, is tenable and achievable. For Kenyan football to derive broadcasting revenues, rights from broadcasting revenues, well-planned and designed stadiums are prerequisite criterion. In leagues and competitions, because once we build the infrastructure, we also need viable and sustainable leagues, but also leagues that are attractive. We will develop, as we develop the infrastructure, we must also find ways to ensure our leagues, tournaments, and competitions are lucrative ventures that are self-sustaining. Football in Kenya is currently surviving on one thing, and I think most of you have talked about it. Leo mtaani ukienda kucheza ball, you just do it for one reason only. You don't do it for any other reason. It's passion. But passion can only take us so far. And passion is what has kept football alive in this country. When we remove this from the equation, the little football we are playing today is completely dead. Passion is what is keeping us together. Passion is what is keeping football going on. Otherwise, there's no other benefit. Ile shida vilabu zinapitia every day, we know them. I don't want to repeat them here. Everybody on stage has talked about them. Coming to how we will develop our leagues, women football is among the few sports with high potential for growth, locally and globally. The qualification of the Starlets to the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup is testament of the untapped potential. Congratulations to the young girls. Their qualification is a testament of the great job done by the Ministry of Education via the Kenya Secondary School Sports Association, the Federation, and we will keep investing and dedicate resource mobilization to the girls and to the teams. Other than that, we of course will look at innovation in other areas, programs that are tailor-made for the respective women age groups, and bring it to the mainstream media. My administration will develop FKF Women's Football Strategy, a comprehensive one, to chart the course of how FKF will work with all stakeholders to empower girls and women and make Kenyan women football an advocate against gender discrimination. Globally, football is a commercial and economic entity. Our neighbors, and I feel very sad when I do these comparisons, especially when we have to compare ourselves with countries and markets that looked up to Kenya. Our neighbors, Tanzania, with a GDP of 10 trillion shillings, have 2 of their biggest clubs, Simba and Yanga, raking in annual revenues of not less than 1 billion shillings a year. Yet FKF, in a better economy of 15 trillion, boasts only of giving Kenya Premier Leagues 10 million shillings in a season. The difference is mind-boggling. My administration will follow an economic model that pursues sustainability in growth. We will combine efforts towards revenue growth, diversification, alongside cost containment that will result in profitability and solvent financial structures that will allow FKF to undertake investments required to carry out these activities. This shall inevitably mean that we must, and I repeat, we must restructure how national leagues are run and governed. KPL's administration must have a level of autonomy that shall promote professionalism and good governance in the running of the league. This will ensure transparency, accountability, and integrity, which shall eventually attract sponsorship and corporate partnerships back into the league. Vile Matacha amesema hapa before, there is no reason why KPL champions should not take home at least 24 million in prize money. And to addition to that, there's no reason why the participation revenues should be less than 20 million. The KPL winner at the end of the season should at least take home all 50 million shillings at a minimum. To my branch delegates and branch officials, I have a message for you. There is hope. My leadership will be that of collaboration rather than fear-mongering and antagonism. For those who have specialized in terror, your time is up. We are stronger when we share ideas and implement them as a unit. We will collaborate on league structures, resource mobilization strategies, and infrastructure development in your respective regions. FKF branch representatives will negotiate their own deals and manage their projects themselves. Capacity building initiatives on various aspects of the game will be undertaken at the branch levels, and we will ensure that we walk the journey together. You will not be on your own. I did it in Nairobi. Iko malingine tatushinda. Iko malingine tatushinda. For the youth and the footballers, I want to assure you the footballers' welfare is guaranteed under my administration. We need to protect their contracts and respect them. Collaboration with KEFWA, an affiliate of FIFPro, the world body championing players' rights, is key to unlocking the potential of Kenyan players. It is crucial that the football environment does not allow the exploitation of our players. They are human beings before being footballers. I'll guarantee that their rights will be protected. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to one of the most important parts of football, which is the funds. Without funds, the commercialization of football is impossible. We must have a robust program that will make sure we also pool funds but retain funds. However, hooliganism from a few rogue elements have threatened the future of the sport. To curb this vice and offer better match-day fun experience, my administration will commit to the development of anti-hooligan architecture of football grounds and targeted legislation against hooliganism. In conjunction with fan clubs and teams, and I know the KEFOF, I think, at the House today, we shall proactively and consistently, Karibu, Mr. President, consistently keep adopting the best global practice in providing unique, safe spaces for football fans across different venues everywhere in the country. The moment fans feel comfortable and safe, they will keep coming to the stadium. This is one of the best socialization programs we can have for Kenya. For football clubs, especially the team owners, I know your pain. You have constantly handled the financial pressures of soaring costs and revenue uncertainties. Zile siku za kutafuta waheshimiwa na kuomba na kutafuta partnerships ya kwenda tu game moja, I want it to be a thing of the past. I know how much football clubs dread the opening of the season. Every new season ni shida. In fact, if there's somebody who dreads a new season, it's me. Because from Friday till Sunday, hakuna kulala. Timu imekwama, timu iko huku, wachezaji hakuna hii, and I understand. But we need to have a new direction in that regard. I have run a 3-tier league, and I assure you, I understand the pains each and every club experiences every weekend. We shall have to work with clubs to build capacity in branding and marketing if they are to be self-sustaining in the long term. My administration shall facilitate these capacity building programs from the onset of our term in office. Hakuna kungoja, day one tukiingia hivi ofisi, tunaanza program yetu. To referees, in the recent past, they have faced a myriad of challenges: minimal and delayed remuneration, unfair talent promotions, intimidation, physical or verbal abuse from sometimes players, unfortunately, the technical bench, and even members of the fans who have become, it has almost become the norm. This is very unfortunate, but these challenges also create an unsafe environment that sabotage the development of match officials and creates performance problems like match fixing. These challenges stem all the way from the grassroots of football to the top tier leagues. My track record on how I managed referees at extreme sports speaks for itself. They were appointed on merit and were always paid on time. I will make sure that that continues. This is a very sensitive part of football and football development. There are approximately 600,000 individuals dependent directly and indirectly on Kenyan football. Match fixing endangers these jobs. No institution or sane individuals will want to participate in an industry with gross integrity deficit. My administration will set up an integrity task force to monitor not only KPL matches, but also those at the regional and county levels, up to the grassroots, plus those of the national teams. The task force will be looking for signs of betting or match manipulation after monitoring and scrutinizing all the matches played within the FKF football calendar. Deployment of technology in this regard, especially artificial intelligence, shall be critical if we are to successfully defeat the scourge of match fixing. We shall work closely with our parliament and law enforcement agencies to enforce legislation that shall be invaluable in curbing this vice. Ladies and gentlemen, now that I have covered the two pillars, on the last pillar, which is the future, I know every Kenyan wants us to play at the World Cup. Everybody wants to see Kenya at the World Cup at the 2030, if not the next one. But the journey starts by investing in our children today, not tomorrow. We must be deliberate in supporting academies that run junior leagues and programs across the country. At the tertiary level, an introduction of a league-based format can be the key to unlocking potential of unseen players. My administration will explore this avenue too. Ladies and gentlemen, for our plans to work, for us to be able to move as a team, for us to be able to achieve our targets, for us to be able to build the right infrastructure, for us to be able to put money in the pockets of football administrators and players, for us to be able to achieve the goals within our manifesto, I know we cannot do it alone. I am very, very clear on what needs to happen. I have clarity that we must forge strategic partnerships with the following institutions. This is critical for our term in office. Number one, we must forge partnerships with the national government of Kenya. We must form partnerships with the county governments. Number three, we must be able to bring back private sector and the corporate world into football. We must talk to the development partners, USAID, UN Habitat, UNESCO, to be able to participate in the social development programs that they offer so that we can build this sector together. And lastly, we must work closely with FIFA. Those 5 partners will make sure that we achieve our goals. And I promise you, we will bring them on the table. As I conclude together, I know we shall deliver on our promise. My fellow Kenyans, we must offer progress instead of stagnation. The truth instead of fake promises. hope and faith instead of defeatism and despair. The upcoming elections presents a unique opportunity for delegates to step up courageously and correct course before our football disappears into oblivion. The Electoral Board shoulders the responsibility of ensuring a level playing field that delivers free, fair, transparent, and all-inclusive elections. The country is keenly watching you as we celebrate 14 years since the promulgation of our new constitution. And by the way, for those who don't know, I was part of that process. We must, at all times, be vigilant and protect the gains we have made through the years. Mutakubali mtu avunje sheria? No one must be allowed to violate our laws and expect no repercussions. To those who have completed their terms of office at FKF, as per the Sports Act 2013, it is time to pack up and leave. You can do it. You can do it with grace and dignity, or you can choose the hard way. And in the words of the Cabinet Secretary of Sports, Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, mutembelewe na Gen Z. Whatever the case, leave you must. The law is the law, period. Hope is the last thing ever lost. The hope in Kenyan football is not lost. This is a fresh start. Players are saying it loud and clear. They want a fresh start. Coaches are saying it unequivocally. They want a fresh start. Referees cannot wait any longer. They are demanding for a fresh start. Kenyans have said it repeatedly. They want a fresh start. My fellow delegates, my question to you, are you ready to save Kenyan football? Mimi siwasikii bwana. Are you ready to save Kenyan football? Are you ready to earn a living from football? Are you ready for a fresh start? Are you ready? I stand in front of you and I tell you, I am ready to lead from the front. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Thank you very much.